Hello, welcome back to TrailDog. This is a place I've forgotten the name of. Kirroughtree. I'm an idiot. This is Kirroughtree, and this is the Twister trail, and hopefully the actual Twister bit of trail that I'm climbing up to. So yes, if you were watching the previous video, which was probably very foggy because the lens was very foggy when I just took it off there, I was talking about the road trip back in November, which I'm actually still putting videos up for. I haven't even got to Kilda yet. I haven't finished Haldon at this point in time either. I've been meaning to, but college kind of started and cut into all my free time, and website as well, because that lapsed on its hosting. So I took the opportunity to just remove the site completely and push on with what's currently done of the new site. So there is some there. It's just being built majorly. Well, not the best time to do that. Fingers crossed, this should be the last ascent here on the red. Hope. So I'm tired. I can't be asked much more. I haven't even done the entire red, to be honest. So, in the previous video, so what is work. I no longer work there. It did get a bit strained, my working relationship, in the end, due to some things that happened that shouldn't have happened. Some were my fault, I will admit to them, but an appreciable number were their fault. And to be honest, the bits that were their fault didn't justify the things that were my fault, but kind of goes away to explaining why they happened. Anyway, the thing that, let's not go into that, that's a wound, let's not pick at it. The bit that does relate to our story though is the week they gave me off. There's a black section there, do that if you wish. The bit that relates to the story is the week they gave me off. At that point I was told I think it was 9 days holiday left, so I took 6 of them, leaving me with 3 to take before April, which I felt was a decent plan, rather than leaving me with absolutely no free time if I needed it. And 3 days isn't too massive. Well, 3 days isn't so massive that A, it'll be difficult to let me away for 3 days, or B, if they followed through on their threats and didn't pay me for them, then I wouldn't have lost out too much. Yeah, this is the Twister. Don't see any down though. And we are at 75% red, 85 black. So I took my 9 days in total, went off on my road trip, came back and was told off for taking 9 days. 7 days. 5 days. It wasn't 9 days. It was 9 days I had. Well, I didn't take all of them. 6 days I must have taken, because 2 of those days a week are actually days off. So I think it's been 6 I took. Anyway, I got told off for them because you haven't worked them yet. They're days off in lieu that you will get for working bank holidays and holidays, but you haven't worked them yet, so we're not paying you for it. What? I understand the concept. Okay, I'm not a thicko. I do understand that you have to work days in lieu before you're allowed to take them off, because otherwise you could quit and never work them and they've still paid you. That's a bit slippery. yeah, it's a good concept. Well, it's a horrible concept, but let's go with it. The problem I had, apart from that route there, is that they hadn't told me. They told me I had to take the holidays, but then once I'd taken them, they said, but you're not allowed that many. Huh. So what? So I'm being forced to take holidays by the company, but then I'm being punished for taking the days that I was told to take. Anyone here see a problem there? A thing that might possibly annoy someone somewhere in there? No? Yeah? Yeah. And then wow, I'm not getting up that, especially because I just shifted down gears. And then, insult to injury, that's a black section there. It's a slab. Yeah, and to add insult to injury, they then turn around and give a lot of back shifts. These back shifts are the worst shifts in that place. But that seems to be the way it worked in there. As if you had the nerve to take time off, they'd then punish you with the worst shift they could give you for a couple of weeks. As if to say, don't do that again. And one of those shifts resulted in a busy evening shift. By the time I'd been rumbling away, I went to college. Hey, I said I was going to pick the scab. Turns out I am. Sorry. I rumbled away. But then it was past Christmas. Into January. And I was really starting to dislike... Well, I'd been disliking the job for a while. But it was sort of pushing me towards the edge there. And then got accepted into college, started doing it full time up in Edinburgh, but still working part time and having to commute after college most days, which would put me up to about 100-mile round trip each day, which isn't too bad, except, yeah, it is bad. And somehow the part-time work, which only gave me part-time privileges like part-time holidays and all that kind of stuff, I think it was a slightly lower rate of pay as well. So I was working part-time, but they were still putting me on full-time hours. I think it was about 5 hours short, and it came to a head one day, 1 week, in fact. Oops. Hey, we got downhill. Came to a head 1 week when they put me on 3 back shifts, because I was flexible with working hours, because some days at college I wasn't there all day, or some days I had late starts, so I could do a back shift before then. And work took the piss, and were rotating me into back shifts the days before I had earlies at college. So for 3 days in a row, I was running off a 3-hour sleep a night. And that might be okay if you can take your Red Bulls and you're 20, but I'm not 20 and I hate Red Bull. So I was having trouble. And then a couple of days in, we got a busy back shift. Someone's been off sick for a couple of days. They've been put in a kind of long-term sick note, so they know that the employee's not coming back for a while, but they don't bother filling the shifts that they can't do, because It's not their problem. They're not there. They don't have to deal with it. This is the manager's problem, not the staff. Yeah, it wasn't their problem because they weren't going to be there for the back shifts. So they left it. And it ended up with a back shift with me and a manager. A manager who wasn't very fast at one thing but was fast at the other. But yeah, okay. So 2 stations. In theory, on a back shift, you should have 4 people in that type of place. We regularly ran with 3. In fact, constantly ran with 3. And then one's off sick. You're screwed, especially on a busy night. Now, what was happening was the manager was doing the preparation stuff, which he's slow at, while he had me out on the front dealing with customers. I don't like customers. I'm not a customer servicey type person, and I get stressed. In fact, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I have suffered a lot from depression, stress, and stuff like that. So mentally, I'm not 100%, to put it nicely. So they deliberately put me in a situation where I was going to get stressed. Well, they already knew I was stressed going into it because of college. But they put me into that situation and sat back and watched the fireworks, because eventually I just lost it. I tried, I kept it together as long as I could, and then I slipped up and hurt myself, and yeah, that was it. Lost the rag, got angry. Excuse me. And hit some equipment. I'll be honest, it wasn't mature, but stress, you know. And then they pulled me up and gave me a disciplinary for it, which, fair enough if it was just me being aggressive, but there's extenuating circumstances. And later they admitted that when they dragged me into the disciplinary, they weren't actually going to punish me because they understood that it was a thing that should never have happened. They were just going to slap my wrist for it and not put it down on my permanent record. At which point I told them to get stuffed and handed in my notice. Because just no way. No way. Oh, squealing brakes. Oh, what? Really? Up there? Not enjoying the twister so far. So yeah, I could have, and I pointed out in my disciplinary when they asked why I hit the equipment, I pointed out that anger issues, stress, depression, that's not a good combination. And at that point in time, because it was the manager who put me in that situation, I was ready to haul off and smack him one. But I realised that would probably not be a good thing, so I vented my anger on something inanimate. They asked me why I attacked expensive equipment. I pointed out it wasn't expensive equipment, it was a wall. A metal wall, but a wall nonetheless. But no, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to have mental problems, and you're not allowed to react when they push you to your limit. So I left. I walked, and I've just been full-time at college now. I need more work. My money's running out. I don't think I'm going to be able to afford France this year, but I'm happier. Poorer, but happier. And I'm using the opportunity to kind of sort myself out. The first thing I did was I came off my antidepressants. That was partially because I wanted to get off them, partially because I had a lower dose than last time I was on them, so I could gently lower my dose to a safe level, and partly because I didn't have time to go to the doctor to renew the prescription. I really couldn't be bothered, so I came off them. Lack of money means I'm now eating healthier, less junk food, which is always a good thing. Oh, excuse me. Less fizzy stuff as well, actually. I used to be a big iron brew drinker. I think I had a small bottle at college last week. So instead of fizzy, I'm now on to orange juice and water. Which I suppose isn't that healthy, but it's healthier. Less sugar, probably. Less carbonated water. Junk food, more or less out. I'm eating a lot more vegetables. There's a person. Still going. And this is the last tango. Thanks for watching. Please like, favourite and subscribe if you approve of healthy eating.